this is my first ever. This is my new first update. This is my brand new update tutorial on how to put Wii apps on your SD card and Wii U SD card and your games on your console. Here we go. So I'm gonna do just the downloads, just for the heck of it. I'm just gonna close one of my files, close my downloads one, and then we're gonna go into the USB Loader GX GitHub page. So this is made by WeDev, also known as Blackbox, and he's a very good modder, console modder. He's a very good person that made the USB Loader GX app and folder. And I do have a group open. So first we're gonna download the loaders folder channel, which will be very important. It's very important to downloading your Wii and Game games to your computer. So I already have one USB Loader GX folder. Now we can go into my group and delete it and delete this. Alright, we're gonna collapse the group again. Now we're gonna go to the I almost forgot. We still need a app to do the folder in order to be able to do the folder. And that's why you gotta do everything in one thing. Then we're gonna click the zip file and we're gonna go back to the dock. And then we're gonna collapse this again. And again, this is gonna download to your computer. Oops, I gotta download that folder again. Poop, I gotta download the folder again. And again, I don't have anything downloading, so we're good. Everything's good. I'm just gonna redo that. So once again, download the folder channel to your where you're gonna store your apps and games on. Boom, we got the folder. Now we're ready to do the release. Then you're gonna go down to the latest release. Boom. Boom, there we go. And it should be done by now. And there we go. And now we're gonna go into Nintendo. Now this is gonna take us to the Open Shop channel. Now we're gonna need this in order to play our GameCube games on USB Loader GX. So download the zip and then X and close out of that one. Then we have another one for the Open Shop channel, but this time it's the preloader installer, which will allow us to install the preloader to our. Well, I can do. I gotta do that part. And now we're gonna go into preloader installer. This is again gonna take us to the Open Shop channel, and then we're gonna go to hit the download button, and we're gonna hit download. Oops, not the boot.dll, please. Not that boot.dll. Nope. And then we're gonna do the preloader install this file. And what's inside that one? The boot.dol. Then next is load preloader. This is what we're going to use to load into preloader, or in the event of a brick, you can hit the power button and hold reset to get into this load to the preloader menu. Close that out. I'm just going to collapse this times. Next up, Yamanmi edition. This is what we're going to use to install WADs to our Wii. But guess what? This Yamanmi edition Yamanmi is to install WADs or launch DLLs. Then we're gonna open up. Then we're gonna download the zip, and then we're gonna hit close. And there we go. Now we got Yamanmi. Next, we're gonna need the Now we need the CIOS WADs. This is gonna take us to a Google Drive page where we can download the WADs. And there we go. Then it should have a check. It should be done. There we go. Oops. And finally, the iOS 58 installer. Now, this is programmed into firmware 4.3 and whatever region you're in. And we're gonna hit the download zip. Here's the iOS 58 installer. And the last thing we need is for game setup, which is the TinyWii backup manager. Special thanks to those two they made this, but instead of the newest release, I'm gonna go to an older release. I'm gonna use an older release of this application. I'm gonna download the oldest version, the older version, because these ones are more less tested and buggy. So I'm gonna go to version 5.2.1 where they fixed the archive game fails, and boom, there we have it. Now we have it, and now we have it, and it's gonna check on there, make sure it's done. There, now it's done. Now we go. So I'm just gonna minimize my thing real quick and open up the another file explorer for my downloads, and this is gonna be the right where this is gonna be the receiving point, which is on the right, which is my game storage file, which is where I would normally store Wii apps and homebrew. Now we're ready to start. Now we're ready to start structuring it. So first, go to the USB Loader GX app, and inside you're gonna have an apps folder. Right here, we're gonna drag it onto the root, and there we go. It should copy over to this file over to your SD card or USB drive, wherever you're gonna use for your, or both. We're gonna use one for apps and one for games, or one for games and apps, one for games, or one for only one for the apps and the other one for the apps, one for the games. Boom. And inside is our USB Loader GX app. Now we're ready to set up the next one. So now we can go ahead and delete that one. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use my new keyboard right here and delete it. Just click it, delete it. Next up is Nintendo. And this has an apps and controllers folder. So we're going to highlight those, put those on. We're going to drag those two apps, those folders onto the root of our SD card. Now the apps will merge with the apps. Control make for the controllers. Boom, there we go. See, apps. So now we open our apps folder. Now we should have Nintendo, and there it is. And there it is. Now we're gonna go back and delete it. Next up is preloader. This has an apps and license folder, but I'm gonna take the apps only and drag them onto the root. This will put the, and now it should merge, and then we should have preloader in here. See, preloader. And next up, we're gonna delete that. Next up is load preloader. This is just an apps folder now. And this is gonna have another boot. We have our app again, or our apps folder again. We should have all these apps. We have a few more to go. We only have a few more to go. So next up is the Yom Mommy edition. This is gonna be just an app. It's just gonna be an apps folder for that. Just for that. Boom. Now we open our apps again. We're gonna have our load preloader, Nintendo the preloader install app, USB Loader GX, and Yamen, and the new one Yamen Meet. And last but not least, we're gonna delete that. And oops, wrong one. I'm just gonna hit no on that. I'm just gonna hit no on that one. Now we can go ahead and delete that. And last but not least is the iOS video installer, and yet again into the apps folder. Boom, and drag out the root. Boom. Now we got our apps. So now in our apps, we should have all the apps we downloaded. Now we're ready to add WADs. So now we're gonna right click. And you know I have a new mouse and stuff, so I can do that. So we're gonna make a new folder called WAD. WAD. Boom. Now before I do this, I'm gonna delete that iOS 80 folder. Now we're gonna open our WADs folder for our custom iOSs. And there we go. Here we go. We're going to drag those into our WAD folder. Now, I got to tell you something about these iOS apps. the main one that games are gonna run off of is CIOS 249. That's the one that most games run off. Now we're gonna go back to our root of our downloads and delete the file for the WADs. And last but not least, we're gonna take our USB loader GX forwarder WAD and put it into our WAD folder. Come on, come on. Place file and destination out. Sure, why not? Sure, why not? And now it should transfer over, and we should have a folder app for our forwarder channel WAD for our USB loader GX. Well, let me redo it. First. So I'm just gonna take the USB loader GX forwarder WAD and delete it. Now we're gonna take our WAD and delete it. Boom, we deleted it. Now we're gonna redo our WAD folder. Add the WAD, and then it should download in, and then it should download, and then it should copy it in, and there we go. And now we're done. We can delete the WAD, this folder WAD. Boom. Now all we're left. Now you see here, I have a folder of my Wii and VWii games. So watch. You're gonna take your Tiny Lead Backup Manager, open it up. Oops, wrong one. Wrong way. We're gonna right click, show more options. We're going to do 7-zip and extract to. Boom. Now we should have our Tiny Lead Backup Manager. So I'm just gonna open it up while I delete the zip. Next video will teach you how to structure an SD card and a USB drive for your Wii U, but you're only gonna do the SD card anyway. I'm just gonna close out the Tiny Lead Backup Manager. So now we're gonna mount a drive where we're gonna put our games. And we're gonna do our game storage app, and then we're gonna do select folder, and then it should mount drive. And now we're gonna put our games in. So we're gonna hit folder. So in my case, I have a VWii and Wii game folder. Those are my Wii and VWii. Here they are. Start. Then it will show. Oh shoot! No! Oh no! I lost all my games. No! Guys, hold on. I'm gonna download some new games and then retry this tutorial again. Just for you guys, I'm gonna do this. But I'm only gonna have games I played and stuff. But in this new USB new folder, I'm